There's a lot of arguments in the online world and in the real world, especially between different nutritional and healthcare providers, about what's the perfect diet. Should you be eating plant-based and going for an alkalinic diet? Should you be eating carnivore or a paleo or keto that's kind of in the middle of both? Well, let's break down how each of these diets work and help you make the best decision for you, because of course everyone's unique and everyone's different. And we'll especially focus on the keto diet and a lot of the talk over the last few years about how it may or may not help when you're dealing with cancer. So first of all, the first thing you have to think about when you're looking at what diet you want to eat is when you try eating a certain way, how does it make you feel? Do any symptoms go away? Do you start to feel better, have more energy, better sleep, less brain fog, all those kind of things? And does it create more stress for you in trying to be perfect? Because I think that's another issue people run into. I teach people to eat 90-10 or even worst case 80-20, where they're eating really clean 80% of the time and not eating so clean 20% of the time. Now that doesn't mean go and eat a whole bunch of disgusting fried food that's fried in hydrogenated vegetable oils and trans fats, but don't stick to the clean diet that you're trying to eat. So just a couple points to note there. Now, for those who eat plant-based, and I know if you're a plant-based eater, this is an argument you're going to want to stand by really strongly. As much fact as we can say that there are a lot of nutrients that you're not going to get that you need from animal foods that you're not going to get from plants, and especially protein. And I know there's a lot of arguments that you'll get protein from plants, but from trying it myself, from seeing hundreds of my clients try it, and just from what the research shows and everything else, I think it's a very small percentage of people who actually thrive best on a plant-based diet. So that doesn't mean if you're watching this video, that's not you. I'm just saying in general, you're going to struggle to get what you need. But that's okay. It doesn't mean you have to go and eat animal foods. You can supplement and you can do other things. I just think you're starting more behind the 8 ball. You're going to be getting less zinc and carnitine and B vitamins and a whole bunch of different things. Then on the opposite side, we have the carnivore diet. And the proponents of the carnivore diet say eat a whole bunch of red meat, nose to tail, and that's the key. You've got to be getting organ meat, and if you won't eat the meat, supplement with it. And then you can also add eggs, and then it maybe branch into a little bit of organic fruit, some raw organic honey, and that's about it. Then we have the middle ground where we have a paleo or a keto diet where you're eating the same quality, healthy types of meat, but then also some organic fruit and vegetables and getting your carbohydrates in that way. And so that's kind of the 4 main buckets of the diet that everyone tends to argue about. Now, we've also got a lot of research showing lately that the keto diet can really help people manage cancer. And what's almost certainly happening there, and with all 4 of these diets, if you eat any of these ways and you weren't eating super clean before, you are initially going to start to feel better and you're going to lose weight and you're going to thrive better than you did because you're getting rid of the nasties, which is all the added sugars and processed foods and all the nasty fats and seed oils and all of those things. So if you're avoiding those things, for the most part, you're going to do fine on these diets, except we have to be careful with some of the plants that are high in lectins and high in oxalates, because they're going to drive a lot of inflammation, and over time they can make you actually very sick again, and you wonder what's going on because you started eating clean, you were starting to feel better, and now all of a sudden the symptoms are creeping back on. There's also another big myth with the keto diet. People think they can just eat a whole bunch of bacon because that's on the plan, same with paleo, but that's not really what it says to do. That's what we would call dirty keto. Clean keto or clean paleo is going to be a bit like carnivore. You want to be intermittent fasting, so you're only eating in a certain amount of window of the day. Whatever meat you're eating needs to be clean. So if it's beef, it needs to be grass-fed. If it's chicken or pork, not only should it be pasture-raised, but if it's pork, you need it, really get it from a regenerative farm somewhere. I use white oak pastures because somewhere like that, because pigs hold on to a lot of toxins. They don't sweat, they don't detox well. So if they're in a bad environment, you're going to get a lot of parasites and toxins from the pork that you eat. And so you don't really want to be eating a whole bunch of bacon that's not from a good quality source anyway. So that's a huge misconception that people mess up. And they say, oh, I'm eating keto, I'm fine to eat these handfuls of bacon and everything else they're doing. In my opinion, at least what I've seen work the most is people who are more leaning towards a carnivore paleo style diet, But if they're eating some vegetables as well as fruits and other things, obviously it's organic, but they're avoiding a lot of the plants that are high in lectins and oxalates. So they're not eating a bunch of spinach, kale, chard, anything like that. They're having more lettuce in their salads and then having low lectin vegetables. So they might have sweet potato, and instead of grains, they're going to have a cassava flour or something like that. And if they want to snack on something, like maybe they want to have some potato chips or something, then there's a brand called Siete that only cooks in good quality oil, so avocado or coconut oil, and they use arrowroot flour or cassava flour for their chips. And so when you start balancing it out like that, you're generally going to stay out of trouble. Now, what happens if you do have cancer? What should you do? Well, I think immediately you should be doing a multiple day water fast, and then you need to implement an intermittent fasting regime very tightly into your schedule for the time being until you get your cancer under control. Then if you're getting a lot of good quality fat, that helps the brain, but it also seems to help the body. Now, either carnivore, paleo, or keto is going to get you that, because if you're eating it properly and you're eating a lot of grass-fed red meat and organs, and you're only using good quality oils like extra virgin olive oil or MCT oil, or cooking in tallow or ghee or butter or lard, then you're getting a lot of that good quality fat. So you're starving the cancer and any other toxic things within your body, if you've got candida or whatever else, and then you're refeeding your body with all the good nutrients and fats and oils that you need. And in my opinion, that's why they're getting so much success in the research with keto diet and cancer. Now, another downside of the keto diet, though, is you don't want to stay in that ketosis for long periods of time. You want to do it for cycles, maybe 3 to 4 months, and then you want to back out of that a little bit. That doesn't mean go and eat a whole bunch of carbohydrates, but go and eat more healthy carbs, or mix up what you're eating, because that's another thing. You want to mix up the food that you're eating. You don't just want to eat steak every day. Eat different organs, different meat cuts, do that kind of stuff. And so I know a lot of people will have clicked on this wanting a clean answer on what is the best diet. Well, again, you have to ask yourself, what do I thrive on? What have I tried where I feel really good, my gut issues go away? And what can I eat realistically? Maybe it's a 90-10 rule. Maybe you can do 95-5. Maybe you need 80-20, where you do need a little bit of leeway, because trying to eat perfectly creates more stress. The more stress you're under puts you in a fight-flight response, which means more inflammation, more weight gain. It's going to drive cancer. It's going to drive all those autoimmune problems. And so that defeats the whole purpose anyway. So I always recommend to people, don't let yourself get pulled into the psychoticness that a lot of influencers online will tell you, that you must eat a certain way or we're all going to die young. I mean, it's not really realistic for most of us anyway. So you want to go as clean as you can on what you thrive on the most, but unless you're opposed to eating meat, if you're a vegetarian or a plant-based because you thought that's what would be better for you, I would challenge you, at least add in some eggs, try some meat and see how you feel. If you feel gross when you eat it, then fine, check the box and say, I tried it, I'm better on a plant-based diet. If you're someone who's only ever going to want to eat plants, make sure you're getting the right supplements to make up for those nutrients you're missing, and then you can thrive basically on any of those diets, as long as we're avoiding all the nasty stuff that's out there anyway. So if you've got more specific dietary questions, leave a comment below and I'll make some videos on that for you. And of course, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because you don't want to miss those when they come out.